India's capital, Delhi, has overtaken the Pakistani city of Lahore as the most polluted city on earth.
Did you know that nearly 620 million people in India still lack access to proper sanitation? Meanwhile, Bangladesh faces over 270,000 premature deaths each year due to air pollution. As various sectors thrive and urban areas expand, a significant portion of the population grapples with the harmful impacts of pollution. This raises an important question. What is the true cost of development? In today's video, we will shed light on the most heavily polluted nations in the world. South Sudan. South Sudan, the world's youngest nation, is grappling with a severe environmental crisis. Despite its rich natural resources, the country's mismanagement has led to widespread pollution and degradation. One of the most pressing issues is the lack of proper waste management. Many cities and towns lack basic systems to collect and dispose of garbage. As a result, waste piles up in streets, rivers, and public spaces, breeding disease and contaminating the environment. The Nile River, a vital source of water for millions, is heavily polluted by industrial waste, sewage, and oil spills. The oil industry, a major economic driver, contributes significantly to this pollution. Another major concern is deforestation. Rampant deforestation for firewood and charcoal is stripping the land of its natural defenses. Soil erosion, flooding, and desertification are the inevitable consequences. The ongoing conflict has exacerbated the environmental crisis.
Now, extreme weather has driven hunger in South Sudan to unprecedented levels.
Millions of people have been displaced, forcing them into overcrowded camps with poor sanitation. These conditions are breeding grounds for disease outbreaks. The government, grappling with internal strife and limited resources, struggles to prioritize environmental issues. Unless urgent action is taken, South Sudan's environmental crisis will worsen. The health of its people, the productivity of its land, and the quality of its water are all at stake. The international community must join hands with the government to address this pressing issue before it's too late. Ghana. Ghana, a West African nation, is grappling with significant pollution issues, particularly in its urban areas. The capital city, Accra, is home to Boggler, one of the world's largest electronic waste, e-waste dumps.
At the e-waste facility, people are reusing the e-waste and recycling it, taking out the copper, taking out the metal, and trying to make a living for themselves.
This site has become a symbol of the country's pollution problems. E-waste, consisting of old computers, televisions, phones, and other electronic devices, is often discarded and ends up at Boggler, not only from Ghana, but also from other parts of the world. To recover valuable materials like copper, workers, mostly young men and boys, burn the e-waste, releasing dangerous chemicals into the air, soil, and water. This practice has severe consequences for the environment and the health of the local population. The air is filled with thick black smoke, leading to respiratory illnesses, skin problems, and even cancer.
With reports stating that this area is the most toxic area in the African continent.
Beyond Boggler, waste management is a major challenge across Ghana's cities. Many areas lack proper systems for waste collection and treatment. As a result, trash is often dumped in open spaces, waterways, and streets, creating health hazards and contributing to flooding during the rainy season. The Ghanaian government has taken steps to address the pollution issue, including implementing laws to control e-waste importation and improving waste management systems. However, enforcement remains weak, and many areas still lack the necessary resources and infrastructure. International organizations are working with the government and local groups to clean up polluted sites like Boggler and find sustainable livelihoods for the workers. While progress has been made, much more needs to be done to tackle Ghana's pollution challenges and protect the health of its people. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, a nation long scarred by war, faces another silent crisis: severe pollution. Kabul, its capital, is increasingly recognized as one of the world's most polluted cities. The city streets are choked with old vehicles spewing exhaust fumes, while smoke from burning fuels for heating and cooking mixes with dust from unpaved roads and construction sites. This toxic mix fills the air, making it as harmful to breathe as smoking multiple cigarettes daily. Respiratory diseases like asthma and bronchitis are rampant, especially among children and the elderly. The overwhelmed healthcare system, weakened by years of conflict, struggles to cope with the influx of patients. Water pollution further compounds the misery. The once vital Kabul River is now heavily contaminated with raw sewage, industrial waste, and agricultural chemicals. Despite the pollution, many Afghans have no choice but to use this water for drinking, cooking, and washing, leading to frequent outbreaks of waterborne diseases. Afghanistan's forests are also under threat. Deforestation, driven by demand for firewood and land for agriculture, is leading to increased flooding, landslides, and soil erosion. This degradation of the land threatens the livelihoods of millions and exacerbates the country's environmental woes.
Environment Day, a very important date for our planet and for Afghanistan.
While the ongoing conflict understandably takes precedence, it's crucial to recognize the devastating impact of pollution on Afghanistan's people and its future. Addressing environmental issues must be part of the nation's broader recovery efforts. Without clean air, water, and land, Afghanistan's future remains bleak. Ethiopia, a nation experiencing rapid growth, is facing significant environmental challenges that impact the health and well-being of its people. One of the most pressing issues is waste management, particularly in urban areas like Addis Ababa. The city's rapid growth has outpaced the development of adequate waste management infrastructure. As a result, trash piles up on streets and in open spaces, creating unsanitary conditions. During the rainy season, this waste can clog drains, leading to flooding and the spread of diseases. The notorious Koshe landfill in Addis Ababa was a major source of pollution, both visually and environmentally. Its collapse in 2017 highlighted the urgent need for better waste management solutions. Air pollution is another serious concern. The increasing use of vehicles and industrial activities, coupled with the burning of solid waste and biomass for cooking and heating, contributes to poor air quality. This can lead to respiratory problems and other health issues for residents, especially in urban areas. Water pollution is a significant threat, particularly in rural areas. The lack of proper sanitation and waste disposal systems means that human waste and other pollutants often end up in rivers and lakes. These water sources, used for drinking, cooking, and agriculture, become contaminated, leading to waterborne diseases like cholera and typhoid. Deforestation is another major environmental challenge. The loss of forest cover due to logging, agricultural expansion, and firewood collection has severe consequences. Forests play a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance, and their loss leads to soil erosion, reduced biodiversity, and changes in local climate patterns. While efforts are being made to address these environmental issues, significant challenges remain. Ethiopia needs to invest in sustainable waste management practices, improve air and water quality, and promote reforestation and sustainable land use practices to ensure a healthier and more sustainable future for its people. Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, is facing a severe air pollution crisis. PM 2.5 levels, tiny particles harmful to human health, are significantly higher than the World Health Organization's recommended safe limit. One of the most pressing issues is poor waste management.
Plastic pollution plagues many cities in the Democratic Republic of Congo,
particularly in urban areas like Kinshasa. The lack of organized waste collection and disposal systems leads to unsightly and unsanitary conditions, posing serious health risks. Water pollution is another major concern. The country's rivers and lakes, vital for drinking water, agriculture, and transportation, are frequently polluted by industrial waste, sewage, and chemicals from mining activities. This pollution not only harms aquatic life, but also endangers the health of communities relying on these water sources. Deforestation is a significant threat to the DRC's environment. The country's vast rainforests are being cleared for timber, agriculture, and mining, leading to soil erosion, biodiversity loss, and increased greenhouse gas emissions. Mining activities, particularly artisanal mining, contribute to environmental degradation. The extraction of valuable minerals often involves harmful practices that pollute the soil and water. Addressing these environmental challenges requires a comprehensive approach that considers the broader social and economic issues affecting the DRC. By investing in sustainable waste management practices, promoting clean energy sources, and implementing stricter environmental regulations, the DRC can work towards a more sustainable future. China. China, a global economic powerhouse, faces significant environmental challenges. One of the most pressing issues is air pollution, particularly in urban areas like Beijing and Shanghai. Smog, caused by industrial emissions, coal burning, and vehicle exhaust, frequently blankets these cities, posing serious health risks to residents.
The air pollution was so bad that people wore face masks to help them breathe.
Fine particulate matter, PM2.5, is a major concern, as it can penetrate deep into the lungs and cause respiratory and cardiovascular problems. Water pollution is another significant challenge. Major rivers like the Yangtze and Yellow rivers are heavily contaminated by industrial waste, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage. This pollution not only degrades water quality, but also harms aquatic ecosystems. Additionally, excessive nutrient pollution leads to harmful algal blooms, further compromising water quality. Waste management is a growing problem in China. Rapid urbanization has led to a surge in waste generation, overwhelming existing infrastructure. Improper disposal of solid waste, including electronic waste, contributes to pollution and health risks. Deforestation is another serious issue. The clearing of forests for timber, agriculture, and development has led to soil erosion, biodiversity loss, and climate change. To address these challenges, the Chinese government has implemented various measures, including investing in renewable energy, tightening environmental regulations, and promoting cleaner technologies. However, the scale of the problem is significant, and progress can be slow. The country's rapid economic growth has made it challenging to balance development with environmental protection. Despite the challenges, China has made significant strides in recent years. By continuing to prioritize environmental sustainability and implement effective policies, China can work towards a more sustainable future. Mongolia. Mongolia, a land of breathtaking landscapes and rich nomadic culture, is facing a severe environmental challenge: air pollution. During the harsh winter months, the air quality in Ulaanbaatar, the capital city, deteriorates significantly.
There are two things you notice when you arrive in Ulaanbaatar, and the first is the temperature.
Residents rely heavily on coal and wood stoves for heating, releasing vast amounts of smoke and particulate matter into the air. This results in a thick, choking smog that envelops the city, posing serious health risks to the population. The air pollution in Ulaanbaatar is linked to respiratory illnesses, cardiovascular diseases, and other health problems. Children and the elderly are particularly vulnerable, facing increased risks of asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory issues. The lack of adequate medical facilities and resources further exacerbates the health crisis. In addition to air pollution, Mongolia is grappling with waste management issues. Rapid urbanization and economic development have overwhelmed the country's waste management systems. Garbage piles up in streets and open areas, creating unsanitary conditions and contributing to soil and water pollution. Deforestation and land degradation are also significant environmental concerns. As more land is cleared for agriculture and development, the natural balance of the ecosystem is disrupted. Deforestation leads to soil erosion, reduced fertility, and increased flood risks. To address these challenges, the Mongolian government and various NGOs are working to promote cleaner energy sources, improve waste management practices, and raise public awareness about environmental issues. However, the scale of the problem requires a more comprehensive and sustained effort. Balancing economic growth with environmental protection will be crucial for Mongolia's sustainable future. Philippines. The Philippines, a country renowned for its stunning islands and rich culture, is grappling with a severe environmental crisis. One of the most pressing issues is plastic pollution, which has become a pervasive problem throughout the country.
or plastic pollution on ocean creatures. The plastic pollution problem in the Philippines is pretty bad.
Plastic waste is ubiquitous, from the bustling streets of Manila to the once pristine beaches of Boracay. The Philippines is a major contributor to ocean plastic pollution, with large amounts of plastic waste ending up in rivers and streams that ultimately flow into the ocean. This has led to the pollution of beautiful landscapes and marine ecosystems. The country's waste management system is struggling to cope with the increasing amount of waste generated by its growing population and economy. In many areas, waste collection is unreliable, leading to overflowing dump sites and the spread of pollution. The lack of proper waste disposal has resulted in widespread littering, particularly in rural areas and coastal regions. The heavy reliance on single-use plastics, such as bags, straws, and packaging, is a significant contributor to the problem. These items often end up in the environment, where they can persist for years. Marine life is particularly vulnerable to plastic pollution. Animals mistake plastic for food, leading to ingestion and entanglement, which can result in injury, starvation, and death. The pollution also poses serious health risks to humans. The burning of waste releases toxic fumes, leading to respiratory problems. Additionally, the ingestion of plastic particles by marine animals can enter the human food chain, potentially causing long-term health effects. To address this crisis, the Philippines needs to implement comprehensive waste management solutions, reduce reliance on single-use plastics, and promote recycling and waste reduction initiatives. By taking decisive action, the country can protect its environment and ensure a sustainable future for its people. Pakistan. Pakistan is grappling with a significant waste management crisis, making it one of the dirtiest countries in the world. The country generates a substantial amount of municipal solid waste, which is expected to increase in the coming years. However, the infrastructure and systems in place to manage this waste are severely lacking. Much of the waste is improperly disposed of, often ending up in open dumps or being burned in the open air. This contributes to severe environmental degradation, air pollution, and public health risks. The lack of proper waste collection services means that a significant portion of the waste remains scattered in streets, rivers, and other public spaces. One of the most pressing issues is the disposal of hazardous waste. Industrial waste, including toxic chemicals, is often dumped without proper treatment, contaminating water sources and soil. This contamination has far-reaching effects, including the destruction of ecosystems and the poisoning of food and water supplies. While there is potential for improvement, such as adopting a circular economy model and investing in waste reduction and recycling initiatives, the current situation remains dire. Pakistan needs to prioritize waste management and invest in sustainable solutions to address this growing crisis. Failure to do so will continue to threaten the environment and public health. India. India, a rapidly developing nation, is grappling with significant environmental challenges. Air pollution, primarily caused by industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, and the burning of biomass for cooking, has reached alarming levels in many cities, especially during winter months. Delhi, for instance, frequently records some of the world's highest levels of particulate matter, PM 2.5, posing serious health risks to its residents. This elevated pollution is linked to a multitude of health issues, including respiratory ailments, cardiac problems, and a decline in life expectancy. Water pollution is another critical problem, affecting major rivers like the Ganges and Yamuna. Industrial waste, untreated sewage, and agricultural runoff contaminate these water bodies, making them unsafe for drinking and harming aquatic life. India's waste management system is also under immense strain. The country generates millions of tons of solid waste annually, and the lack of adequate recycling and waste treatment facilities exacerbates the problem. Large amounts of plastic waste end up in rivers and oceans.
A major issue is that all of the plastic that's ever been created still exists in some form somewhere,
Contributing to global marine pollution. Major cities struggle with the disposal of municipal solid waste, leading to overflowing landfills and environmental degradation. Sanitation is another major challenge, especially in rural areas. Approximately 620 million individuals lack adequate sanitation facilities, contributing to the spread of diseases like cholera and typhoid. The Swachh Bharat mission, launched in 2014, has made significant progress in improving sanitation, but much work remains to be done. Addressing these environmental challenges requires a comprehensive approach, including stricter regulations on industries, promoting cleaner technologies, improving waste management practices, and raising public awareness about environmental issues. By taking decisive action, India can work towards a more sustainable future. Bangladesh. Bangladesh, a densely populated country, faces significant environmental challenges, particularly in the areas of air and water pollution, as well as waste management. Dhaka, the capital city, is consistently ranked among the world's most polluted cities. Industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, and the burning of fossil fuels contribute to poor air quality, leading to severe health problems like respiratory diseases and lung cancer. Water pollution is another major issue. Rivers like the Buriganga are heavily polluted by industrial waste, sewage, and agricultural runoff. This pollution not only harms aquatic life, but also poses significant health risks to people who rely on the river for water and food. The lack of basic sanitation facilities often leads to open defecation near water sources.
The real cause of water pollution comes from the main water sources, high level of salinity and bacterial contamination,
further contaminating the water and increasing the spread of waterborne diseases. Waste management is a critical challenge in Bangladesh. Open dumping and burning of waste are common practices, leading to air and water pollution. Plastic pollution, in particular, is a major problem, with plastic waste littering streets, fields, and waterways. This pollution contributes to soil and water contamination and poses risks to wildlife and human health. To address these challenges, Bangladesh needs to implement comprehensive measures, including stricter environmental regulations, investment in waste management infrastructure, promotion of clean technologies, and public awareness campaigns. By taking decisive action, Bangladesh can work towards a more sustainable future. Iraq, a country plagued by decades of conflict, faces severe environmental challenges, particularly in the area of waste management. The country generates a significant amount of solid waste daily, but the lack of a comprehensive waste management system leads to its improper disposal. Much of this waste ends up in unregulated landfills or is openly burned, causing significant environmental and health issues. The improper disposal of waste contributes to soil and water pollution, hindering Iraq's efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The situation is further complicated by Iraq's limited capacity to manage chemicals and hazardous waste. Years of war and insufficient regulatory frameworks have weakened the country's waste management institutions. Recently, Iraq has taken steps to improve its waste management capabilities by becoming a party to international agreements like the Basel, Rotterdam, and Stockholm Conventions. Initiatives funded by the UN Environment Programme and the Iraqi government are focusing on identifying legislative gaps, training staff, and developing sustainable waste management policies. Projects implemented in areas like Nineveh and Thikar, with support from the European Union, have started addressing some of these issues by enhancing local waste collection systems, creating action plans, and providing new equipment and training. However, progress remains slow, and many parts of the country still struggle with unregulated waste disposal and pollution. These challenges make Iraq one of the world's dirtiest countries in terms of environmental management. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more interesting content.